Hello, welcome back to my channel. We are doing back-to-back color-changing product reviews today. I already reviewed and hopefully uploaded the first impressions of the Fenty Beauty Matchstick color-changing Strawberry Pop Blush. That is a mouthful. So if you have not watched that yet, definitely check out that video after you watch this one. Today we have another color shifting product. We have the brand new Tarte Maracuja Juicy Shift shades. Now Tarte just launched yet another version of their very popular Maracuja Juicy Lip products in what is called the Shift. So these are supposed to be pH adjusting, color changing lippies. And by color changing, I mean they are supposed to react to the pH in your lips so that the same shade does not look identical on another person. So yeah, it's a little gimmicky, but we're gonna give them a try and give them a go. Now, as far as information about the products, I picked up mine from QVC because QVC always has the best bundles for Tarte, especially for new releases. So this bundle, I'm pulling it up right now. I want to go over what the retail price is and then what the price is on Tarte, because I am fairly certain Tarte and QVC are the only place where you can get these yet. They are not yet at Ulta or Sephora, although I'm sure they will be soon. So this trio on QVC retails for $39 and it would be $72 if purchased separately. This trio comes with 3 shades. It comes with Rose, Honeysuckle, and Big Ego. And then on the Tarte site, and I will have both options linked below. On the Tarte site, they have several shades. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have 9, and they even have like crazy colors like green and blue and yellow. So those would be kind of fun to try and play around with. And they retail for $24. So if you are interested in this product, I would definitely recommend going with that QVC bundle because you will save quite a bit of money. The way today's video is going to go is I'm going to try on all of the shades on my lips, show you what those shades look like, give you my reaction to the formula. I have been wearing one of these on my lips for the past hour, so I feel like I can pretty confidently describe how the formula wears. And then I will also show you swatches of the existing Maracuja Juicy Lips because I own so many of those. I almost own every shade, I think. So I'll do some comparisons and then talk about if I think these are actually different and worth it, or if they're just gimmicky. So if any of that interests you, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button and keep on watching. Let's start off with the shade Big Ego, which is the one I was wearing at the beginning of this video. Now this shade is a like milky pop, kind of pink in the tube. It applies the same as the other formula, very, very glidey. When you first apply it, you don't notice too much pigment, but the more you let it sit, the more it's going to appear. Now, while I'm waiting for this to sit for a few minutes, let the color really show through, I do want to give a little bit of my first impressions on the formula from wearing it for the past hour. So this one is much tinglier than the other Maracuja Juicy Lips. Not uncomfortable by any means. I did not find it uncomfortable, but there is more noticeable to me. I thought there was a little more noticeable like tingling and stinging to get that plumping effect than in the other formulas. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you hate that sensation, you will not like these, but again, it did not hurt at all. It's not like the Too Faced lip injections or the Buxom like plumping glosses, nothing like that, but you do feel a little bit of tingle, but not right away. It took maybe like 10 minutes for that tingling to really start. I'm gonna go ahead and switch off my camera, make myself a coffee, and let this sit on my lips for a little bit longer to come back and show you what this shade looks like. We have Big Ego, Rose, and Honeysuckle. You'll see Big Ego and Rose are very, very similar, nearly identical, but Rose is a little bit lighter and milkier, and Big Ego has a little bit more pigment. Obviously, Honeysuckle, completely different than those other two. We have let the lip color sit on my lips for maybe 15 minutes because I got distracted and I don't even know what I started doing. So this is the accurate representation of the shade Big Ego. That plumping has really started to hit, quite tingly, but again, not something that bothers me. I think the shade is super, super beautiful. It matches my sweater perfectly, and I think it is a great shade for summer. So big fan of this one. Now I'm gonna wipe it off. Let's see if it leaves behind a stain. The other Maracuja Juicy Lips do not, but I am intrigued if this one will. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Okay. Definitely leaving behind a stain. I'm assuming it's to do with the, like, whatever ingredient is used for that, like, pH adjustment type of product leaves a stain, because I just tried, as I mentioned, the Fenty Beauty Matchstick, and that left a stain behind, and that is a very similar concept. So I'm assuming it has something to do with the ingredients. Okay, so that left a beautiful stain behind. That's definitely a plus in my book when you're comparing the different formulas. The other ones don't leave a stain behind, so that is exciting. Now let's swatch the other shades. I'm a little concerned. Maybe was the wrong move to leave it on for so long because it is staining. I don't know how much of an accurate representation we will get of the Rose shade because it is light, but we will go ahead and give it a try. Okay, here is Rose, and I did insert swatches. I should have inserted swatches before doing these lip swatches of the 3 shades, because just providing you a close-up of what they look like in the tube isn't helpful. Let's go ahead and try this one on. Something to note about these products is if you over apply, you are gonna get the, like, lip cobwebs is what I call them. Like, you notice when I'm moving my lips, how the product is, like, building up a little bit. So that is something to note. You want to be careful and not over apply these particular lip products from Tarte, because you will get the weird little cobwebbies. Okay. Cobwebs removed. The color is on. This one is beautiful. But again, I don't know how much of it is the Big Ego shade. I will say, as you saw from my arm swatches, that Big Ego and Rose are very, very, very similar shades. You definitely do not need both, although I would recommend, if you're going to pick these up, to get that QVC bundle that does have all 3 shades, because you will save a ton of money. But if you are going to purchase them individually, you definitely don't need both of those shades. Okay, so here is Rose. I'm going to wipe Rose off, and then we are going to apply Honeysuckle. Honeysuckle I'm super intrigued by, because in the tube, when I first got it, I was like, oh, that looks like it's going to be Black Honey from Clinique. But as you saw in my arm swatches, it is much redder and brighter than one would have expected. I do have Black Honey that would be good to compare, but I realistically don't think I'm going to know where in this messy makeup room Black Honey is living. But I'll take a look. I'll pause and take a look after I apply this to see if I can find Black Honey, because that would be kind of fun to compare. But let's get into the swatching. Okay, I am going to amend my earlier statement that you need to leave them on your lips for a while for the color to appear, because that appeared right away, and it is definitely this color and not the stain that was left behind from the other shades, because this is a very beautiful boysenberry shade. Oh, this is so pretty. This is very, very pretty. I'm very curious, like, how shifting these actually are. Honestly, if my husband were home, I would like apply them to his lips and see if they actually look different on him, or if it's just like a marketing ploy to get you to think that there's something special about the shiftiness of these. But all that being said, I don't really care if it's just a marketing ploy, because this shade is beautiful. So again, this is Honeysuckle. I'm going to wipe this one off on camera to look at the stain left behind. And yeah, left behind a nice little stain. I'm going to go rummage through my drawers and try to find black honey. And then I'm also going to pull the different formulas and shade of the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips. There are like 2 or 3 different formulas. People may not realize that. And kind of go over the difference, try to find some shades that are similar, and we'll apply those to the arm and maybe the lips. We'll see how my lips are feeling. So I'll be right back. We are back with a ton of different formula and shade comparisons. I have so many of the Tarte lip products, and again, QVC, I have QVC to thank. They always do the best lip sets, especially around the holidays. So between that and then when these go on like Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, and also Tarte does amazing 50% off flash sales, I've collected them, quite a few. So I want to go through formula comparisons first, and then I'm going to go through shade comparisons, because a lot of people don't realize there are several different formulas in this Tarte Maracuja Juicy line. So we have the original Tarte Juicy Lip. I will go ahead and, for the heck of it, just apply Orchid to refresh myself about that formula. So this is the original formula. There is no plumping aspect to this particular formula, and it is, I would say it has equal opacity between this and the shifting ones. So we have the original formula. Then they came out with the Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump. And this is a similar formula to the original one, but it does have the plumping effect. And then some people may not realize they also launched a Maracuja Juicy Lipstick. Now let me talk about this formula. So this formula is much more saturated and is much more akin to a lipstick. So here we have the lipstick, and then here we have the original. Now, something to note is I feel like what's happening with Tarte is the same thing that happened with Charlotte Tilbury. Once one product's successful, they'll just name every other product the same thing. Like everything is now Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. Everything is now Maracuja Juicy from Tarte, or Shape Tape. I'm like, why are we launching a bronzer that's called like a Shape Tape bronzer or Shape Tape contour? I mean, I get it, but it's also kind of weird in my opinion. Those are the different formulas in the lineup. Now, for the heck of it, I'm going to go ahead and swatch some of the different formulas so you can see up close. This is kind of turning also into more of like a get your PhD in Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip products, as opposed to just focusing on the shifting shades, but we're already here. Why not make this a little bit more educational? I do have the shade Rose, I believe, in all 4 formulas. So that will be fun to compare. I'm going to go ahead and start prepping some arm swatches, and then I will do some up close swatches to show you what the different formulas look like on the arm. all in the shade Rose. Here we have the Rose lineup in the different formulas, with the exception of one, which I'll get into. We have the original Maracuja Juicy Lip in Rose here. Here we have the Lip Plumping formula, but in deep rosy pink, because I actually do not have that particular formula in Rose. Here we have the Rose Shifter shade. And then here we have the Rose Maracuja Juicy Lipstick, which is very similar to the deep rosy pink. But here are the 4 different formulas lined up. Just looking at them, you can't notice anything, but on the lips, these 2 formulas, the Lip Plumping and the Shifter, have that plumping effect. And then obviously the lipstick one is a completely different formula. Recapping and trying to put my thoughts into words. I really like the shifting formula. It essentially, to me, is the same as the lip plumping formula. As far as the shift goes, I didn't notice. Again, it's hard because I only tried them on myself, but these shades, I think it is a little bit gimmicky, and it feels more like a shade extension of the lip plumping ones. However, I am super interested in trying the non-traditional shades that they have in this lineup, like the green and the blue, to see what those shift into, because I know there's going to be some shifting because, I mean, at least I pray people aren't wearing lime green lip products. So as far as if you need to pick up this collection or if I'd recommend it, I mean, you don't need anything, of course, but I will say if you are interested in the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip formula and you don't own any of these yet, that set from QVC is a really good deal. I will have it linked down below. If you already have a lot of the Juicy Lip products or the Lip Plumping Juicy Lip products from Tarte, don't pick them up unless there's a shade that I swatch that you're particularly drawn to, because it's essentially the same product. Final verdict is I like them. Yeah, they're a little gimmicky, but the formula is beautiful and I like that they leave behind a stain. So take what you will with that information, and hopefully there'll be a site-wide sale on Tarte and I can pick up those weird shades soon to kind of actually see the shifting take effect. Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video. I really appreciate it. Sound off in the comments below. I want to know, have you tried any of the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips? Let me know also your thoughts on brands that have a successful product and then name everything else the same product. And let me know your thoughts on this whole color changing trend that is really starting to ramp up.